So events, I mean, we started off in 2001 at a little place called Herbal, monthly 400 people. And happily, it went quite well. And then we started, I think the second residency we had was in Cardiff because our contrast was working with us, it was a natural place to go. And then we did Nottingham, and then we went to Berlin, and then we just went to all other cities from about 2003, 2004, and we started to build up a network of shows. In 2005, what we really wanted to do was, it felt like to us at that point that kind of soulful, deeper drum and bass was always relegated to the back room of a big event, right? So we were like saying, no, we're the main room. And we took a risk. We went to Heaven, which is one of the most famous nightclubs in Europe, right in the middle of town in Charing Cross. And we took a chance and we sold it out. And then we had 2.5 massive years transforming hospitality into a big room event. You know, it was like 4 rooms, 5 rooms at one point. And off the back of that, we then started, when Heaven closed, we actually got sold to a different owner. Sadly, we got kicked out because he didn't like drum and bass. And so then we just went for a couple of shows to Fabric. We then went to their brand new club called Matter at the Millennium Dome. From Matter, we went to Brixton Academy. From Brixton Academy, we went to Tobacco Dot Printworks. And touch wood, still going. It's a beautiful thing. It's really, really hard work. But it's been the single biggest sort of factor, I think, in the growth of the company. You know, it enabled us to prioritise our music. It enabled us to put our artists on the main stage. Because before then, we were waiting to get booked, we were waiting for opportunities, we were waiting for people to go, oh yeah, all right, I'll give you a little chance. You just have to make those opportunities yourself sometimes. And then, you know, we got into festivals. We did Hospitality in the Park in North London, 2015. That was a knee trembler. When you go from doing big, you know, Brixton's no joke, it's 5,000 people, but when you're daft enough to think you can do your own day festival for basically 12 or 15,000 people in a park during the day in England where it rains, you know, but it was the logical step. And it was another massive step forward for the company and especially for the event brand. We then went much more recently in 2021, we went to what we call the Woods, which is a very beautiful park in Beckenham, just on the outskirts of London. And crucially also in 2018, we then did a summer festival, Hospitality on the Beach. And these have been amazing moments within the growth of the company and for the events department as well. The beach returns, as you can see, in July. We'll be back in Tisno in Croatia this year. And I'm happy to say that after a pretty shocking September last year when we lost our festival in London, that will come back in August. Obviously, you're probably all aware that through the pandemic, the live sector has just fallen so far. So many people have lost their jobs, lost their businesses, lost their companies. It's been grim. And it's not back to full health yet. It's really, really hard. We're still in the post-pandemic landscape. There's a cost of living crisis. There's a crisis of confidence in events. Lots of us have probably maybe bought tickets to shows that then get cancelled, or bought tickets to shows that actually, instead of being 4 rooms, they're only 1 room, or whatever it might be. So the live sector is struggling at the moment. So I encourage you to jump in and get involved in, especially little shows, you know, because those little club shows, those basement shows, those midweek shows in Bristol or London or anywhere else are the lifeblood of all of this. People need your support. People need your energy, not just your £5 on the door. Just get involved, support promoters, support live music. A lot of us feel like this is going to be a tough year. So many promoters are doing their very best to make good, smart, mindful decisions about how they put their shows together. maybe not overstretching themselves. Lots of people have lost lots of money in these last couple of years. But fingers crossed, so long as everyone can just navigate their way through this very, very challenging landscape, next year, Rodney, as Del Boy says, we'll be millionaires.
Quick question, sort of like your views on sort of like promoting at the moment. Like you said, this is going to be like one of the toughest years.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel that's going to have a risk for the promoter in terms of choosing up and comers or people that are just starting out or just starting back out on the scene?
Absolutely. The challenges are, I do think that probably the biggest challenges are for the promoters and de facto like the venues and the people that work at the venues, from the door staff to the bar staff, everyone else. Of course, it's hard for the artists, but yeah, I guess how many promoters can take a risk? How many promoters in this current climate think like, I'm just going to go with my gut and I really want to support these underground artists? Sometimes it needs to be a bit of a compromise. Maybe you need one sort of heavy hitter, one man or woman who's got that kind of fan base that should sell the tickets. But I think at the moment, the main thing for most promoters and most people in the business is just to stay in business. Don't stop promoting, don't stop working, but where you might have usually done 4 shows a month, if the smart thing to do is do 2, do 2. I just don't think right now is the time to be taking the risks that a lot of us were more comfortable with pre-COVID,